Hi Barbara, welcome to Bee's Kitchen and Garden. Today's recipe, whoa it's hot, is for Egg-citing Egg Bake. It's something that you can use for brunch or breakfast. You can double the recipe if you have more people, and it is healthful and delicious. Okay, let's get started. Pull all your ingredients together so you're ready to go. We start with bell pepper. I like to use red bell pepper for this because I have spinach for green, adds wonderful touches of color. Also fresh basil, onion, of course eggs, bacon bits, Mexican blend cheese mix, and the other ingredients that are on the list that you can see to the side of the video. Let's get started. Now I have half a cup of chopped red peppers and a half cup of chopped onion. I wanted to show you my eggs. My neighbor raises chickens and I love the different colored shells. They depend on the breed of the chicken. Different breeds will produce different colored eggshells. And here's the spinach. I always rinse my spinach before I use it. So I'm going to put some in the colander and maybe a little more so that I end up with half a cup of chopped spinach. I'll rinse it, pat it dry with a paper towel, cut off the stems, and then chop up the leaf. So here are the stems that I took off of the spinach, and I lay all of the leaves on top of each other and then slice through them so that I can get them chopped. I go this way, and then I turn the board around and do it this way. Nice and easy way to get your spinach into small pieces. And then I'll put them in the measuring cup and make sure that I have a half a cup. And then I'm ready to go to the next step. When you have your spinach, your onions, and your red bell peppers all chopped and ready to go, take 1 tablespoon of olive oil in your frying pan and turn the heat on low because all of these can burn pretty easily. Then add your ingredients. Add the red pepper, add the onion, add the spinach. Now you'll need to simmer this and cook for about 7 to 8 minutes. You want your onions to be transparent. That's a good way to show when everything's cooked enough to move to the next step. It's been 7 minutes. So that works out about right. I've been stirring my little mixture, and it looks like the onions are about where I like them. They're getting transparent. So I'm turning off the heat to let them cool. Now we're going to start with our eggs. In preparing our soufflé dish for this particular recipe, I'm going to line it with parchment paper. I've tried lining it with olive oil, and the batter sticks to it so terribly that it's horrible to clean. I don't like to clean a lot of bowls. So I've decided to use parchment paper, smash it down, and now I'll give you a tip, but it's a 2-step tip. The tip is, since I'm going to be pouring mixture in here, I want to keep the parchment paper at the right degree of fitting in the bowl, otherwise it moves around on me. So I take a rubber band and that holds it in place for when I'm ready to pour in my mixture. But remember to take the rubber band off before you put it in the oven. Otherwise, you will absolutely ruin your oven. I'm not putting this particular tip about the rubber band in the printed directions because only those that see the video and understand its purpose and to be sure to take it off, only those people get the tip. Now comes the final assembly. I have 5 eggs here. I have 1 here because I wanted to show you I put each egg individually in a bowl and then pour it in my big bowl. That way, if for some reason there's any shell, I can get it out of the small bowl and I haven't contaminated the rest of my eggs. So now we have 6 eggs. Take the hand beater, put it on medium, and beat them until they're a little frothy. Scramble, beat, whip them. Just not too much, but enough to where there's a little froth. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. So, here we go. It's about right to me. Now let's add all of the remaining ingredients and mix them in together. First, I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of pepper. Yes, I use a large pepper container. And I'm going to sprinkle it around, and I'm going to whisk that in right away. If I don't put it right away under the beater, sometimes the pepper clumps, and somebody will get a very spicy mouthful of Egg-citing Egg Bake. Now let's add everything but the cheese. So first we'll take our mixture from the frying pan and put that in. I don't put in salt because my next ingredient is going to be adding the bacon bits. And the bacon bits typically tend to be salty, so I don't add extra salt. Then also my fresh basil. I always have fresh basil in my kitchen, and so we'll add the fresh basil. And that is our list except for the cheese. Let's beat it again. One 2/3 cup of Mexican blend cheese. I like the Mexican blend because it gives a lot of different flavor to it. So let's pour that in. Now we're on a very slow speed, and then I'm going to mix it with a spoon. Now I'm going to take a spoon and make sure that the cheese is well mixed and everything is all gooey together. Pour it into our prepared baking dish with parchment paper. Good. And we'll get the little bit. We worked hard on this, so let's make sure it all goes in. There we go. Now, the important step, take off the rubber band. And maybe I see a little extra cheese here, so I'm going to stir it around so it's not all clumped together. Put it in an oven at 350 degrees for about 38 to 40 minutes. You can give it a little shake after about 35 minutes, and if it still wobbles a little, take it to 40 minutes. Here is our wonderful egg bake. Put it on the table and enjoy brunch or breakfast with your friends.